What an unbelievable knockout round it was at Euro 2020. The final is all set. Italy versus England on Sunday, but we got to look back before we look forward. James, the last time you and I spoke ahead of the knockout round starting, essentially everything we said was 100% incorrect, which, given the history of you and I chatting and predicting, seems par for the course. But one of the things that stood out to me was we said the tournament, while fun, hasn't been overly great. Are you ready to change that opinion? Because I thought the knockouts were, fantastic, if not dramatic as hell.
Oh, I agree. I think it's been just a wonderful tournament. And often in great tournaments, we look back on the group phase as being kind of just it's part of the journey to get to where we are. Once those knockout rounds kicked off, it all changed.
Yeah.
Drama, theater, controversy, incredible goals, great performances. It's just what we need, Faisal. We've been just thirsting for this for a long time. And, the World Cup, even in 2018, wasn't a great World Cup, I don't think.
Right.
Unless you're a French fan. But this has been great. And whoever you support, I think you've enjoyed it. And there's been some surprises in the knockout rounds, but that's what makes this even more incredible.
No one's been thirsting more for success on the international tournament level than England. The ghosts of 96. The ghosts go well beyond that, of course, but the narrative surrounding this team was Southgate missing in 96, now leading his team to a final in 2021, although I don't think I'm allowed to say that year legally, Euro 2020. What have you made of England's performance in the knockouts, certainly in the semifinal as well?
Controlled, calm, very good tactics. Every time we've questioned Gareth Southgate from opening kickoff in this tournament, he's delivered. He's proved all the naysayers wrong. Every single formation, tactic, selection, it's all worked out for him. And I think they've been just superb. We saw little bits of this glimpses of the World Cup, how this young team was growing and could become something that the former teams, the golden generation, weren't. And there's always, I think, a little bit of distrust there, the back of our minds. When it came to, the big games, would they really have it? They lost to Croatia, for example, in the semifinals of the World Cup. But this time around, I think in the group phases, they've controlled every match. And even in the game against Denmark, where Denmark went up 1-0, they didn't panic. There were some moments there where I was a bit concerned, but they calmed down. And in the end, they stuck the game plan and they controlled and they found a way to win. So they've just been wonderful. They really have. Have they been the best team in the tournament? Probably not. I think that's probably fair to say that's Italy. But they've been one of the most impressive and are fully deserving of their spot in the final.
Well, let's talk about the Italians, because you could argue their game against Spain was one of their worst so far of the tournament. They didn't have it, especially in the midfield, where we've seen them be so dominant so far this tournament. But they get it done. It was penalties and it was dramatic. It was everything we talked about at the beginning. And this Italian team just finding a way. They are certainly fun, though, James.
And that's it. That's the word, though. They're finding a way. And they can mix up their tactics. This is a team that was playing Tic-Italia football for much of the tournament, right? Which is, I love that phrase, by the way. But it's been numerically keeping possession, fast bursts, being great. But then against Spain, they let Spain have the ball. I think 35% possession they had in that match. And sure, Spain were really good and were probably the better team, but they found a way, like you said, that they got tough. Even against Austria and against Belgium, they had some real struggles in those games, but they found a way. And that's why I think this Italy team have that resolve and that hunger and that strong backbone that you need to be a champion. Maybe it comes from Chiellini and Bonucci, who have just been marvelous in this tournament. I don't know, but yeah, they are the real deal. There's no doubt.
One of the lasting images from that first semifinal was Chiellini and Jordi Alba ahead of the penalties. And Chiellini was just having the time of his. Jordi Alba wanted nothing to do with Giorgio Chiellini's, fun antics there. But that team was exactly reminiscent of his body language, just fun and loose. And they had a belief in them that they were going to get it done. I don't know if many did. Their group wasn't that tough. So obviously they looked good, was what the narrative was. But they have dominated the knockouts now. And, they're probably the favorites on Sunday.
Yeah, they will be. I'm sure they will be. And they should be. And, you mentioned how it's fun and loose. And how often have we said that about an Italian team?
Never in my lifetime.
Ever, right? Yeah. Not, when they win, it's because they're just like, the best team. They refuse to lose. They're tight. They're strong. You can't break them down. This time around, they're just having a hell of a lot of fun out there. And, even when in the match against Belgium, the last half an hour, they got very cynical. There was some diving, some embellishing, and in particular, Immobile's being criticized globally for his antics, right? Well, I love the way Chiellini comes out of that match and says, yeah, we made fun of him too. We made fun of that for that. That's ridiculous. Okay, Giorgio, Thanks. Yeah, you got it. And I didn't see any of that behavior in the last match. So maybe they're learning as well. But man, they are a joy to watch. And what I like about these two teams in the final, Faisal, is I think we're going to see them in big games for the next decade together, because they have some aging players, sure, in particular Italy with Bonucci and Chiellini.
No, the foundations are young. The foundations are young.
Or in their prime, right? They're going to be around for a while, and they're only getting better. There's so many players not playing in this tournament in those squads who are going to be stars next year's World Cup and the Euro in Germany after that. So I think it bodes really well for international football.
I mean, listen, we'll wait for those moments, but we'll enjoy Sunday. I won't ask you for prediction just yet. You enjoy this England win, and we'll catch up before the final.
Thanks, mate.